to Got Style Designs. My name's Pat. My channel is all about leather, techniques, supplies, tools, designs, applique, braiding, and much more. Since I use fairly sharp and dangerous equipment and tools, this channel is for adults. If you like my video, please push the thumbs up button below and subscribe. Thanks, and let's get on with the video. Today's video is how to single and double whip stitch using leather lace to finish an edge. Here's a picture of a trifold wallet I made using the single whip stitch. Here's a sample of the double whip stitch. We're going to do both the single and the double today. Here are some samples of wallets I made with the single whip stitch. You can see the light colored one, we're going to have light color on the outside and we've got black calf on the inside. So what's going to happen is on the very edge you're going to see a white line or cream colored, and then you're going to see black. So it looks like a strip going down the edge, and you don't want that. So the first thing you need to do is take black dye and dye the very edge all the same color, which if in this case it's black, so I dyed it all black so that the color, two colors, would not show underneath my lace. So that's just a tip to make it look a little bit more finished and nicer. Let's start braiding. You will need your project or a practice piece of leather, and the lace you need for the single whip stitch is about 3 times the distance around your project. So if you were going all the way around, you'd take that times about 3.5. And I'm using 1/8 inch packer lace and a lacing needle. That'd be this one. And the first thing that you need to do, of course, as I always do, is put some braiding soap on it so that it will slip easily and tighten all evenly. So you just kind of work that into your lace, and I'm going to assume that you know how to put skive the lace off and cut it to a point and put it in the needle. Then I use pliers to tighten the needle till it clicks down on the lace. On your practice piece or even a finished piece, you'll probably want a rounded edge. So I use this Tandy cutter for the corners, and it works really well. You don't have to try and hope you got them all the same. They should look really very nice. So that I got at Tandy. The other thing that you'll need is your lacing chisels and different sizes. This is a 3/32, and these are 1/8. Then you'll need a pair of dividers so that you can keep your lines straight for your holes. And the way that you do that is I've got this set at about 1/8 inch. And you'll just go down on your piece and you just want to scribe a light line, because this one will show, unlike the last video I did, this line will show, so you just need a very light line. And I'm not going to bore you with pounding all of the holes, but the one in the corner should be a little bit sideways, and you should do it first. And the reason for that is then you'll be able to space out your other holes correctly using this, to where if you start over here someplace and go this direction, you may be off on the corner and it might not look as good. And when you work the other direction from say here to the other corner, you can kind of get an idea where you're going to be over here and maybe move stuff if you move some of the holes, if you're going to be a little bit off in the corner. So that takes care of the holes, all except that they all have to be opened up with a fid. And these I've opened, other than these two holes, I've not opened, and you can see there's really not room for the lacing needle. So what I do is I just go in here and wiggle the fid just a little bit and open up all these holes. And let's start with the holes here are 3/32 chisel, and I've opened them all up, and I opened the corner more. Let's start doing the single whip stitch. And with the 3/32 hole, I want to show you what that looks like. We'll just start over here. And normally what you're going to do is you would start this way, but your lace would lie in between two pieces of leather. Since I'm only lacing on a single piece of leather, we'll just hold that tail and we'll just kind of weave it in. So we just put our needle in the next empty hole and pull. And you want it snug, but not tight. And you make sure your lace is straight. Put it in the next empty hole. And it's pretty, this one is pretty straightforward to do. It's just in the next hole each time, all the way around. And you want to make sure that you kind of play with your spacing, and you can make sure they're all evenly spaced, or you can move it with your finger. When you get to the corner, you're going to go in the hole 2 times. You'll go this once, and you'll kind of move the lace over just a little bit with your finger. So you can see if you went over here, you're going to have a big empty space there. You go back in that same hole, and you may have to open it up with the fid just a little bit. And go back in the hole. Okay, so we've gone in that hole 2 times, and you'll probably want to move it around a little bit, and then you'll just go in the next hole. And it of course depends on the radius of your corner. If sometimes you might even have to go in 3 times, but not for this particular stitch. And you just kind of keep on going. And then what I want to show you is when you get down here, how different that stitch is going to look. But I think we can just do that on my sample piece. This would be the same stitch that we've just done down to here. Then we just keep going in each hole, but this gives you a little bit different look because it's spaced a little wider. And this will be with 1/8 inch holes that are punched, and the other is with 3/32. So you can just kind of see what the difference is in the spacing, and it makes it look quite different, but that may be what you want on your project. It just depends. Next, what we want to do is the double whip stitch. It's going to end up looking like this, which is a really nice decorative stitch. I ended up trying 1/8 lace in it, in the holes, and they're 1/8 inch holes also. And the lace on the top here just was too wide, and it would overlay itself, so it wasn't smooth at all, and really didn't look nice. So I ended up using 3/32, which is what I'm going to do in the sample that we're going to do. You started out the same way, and actually the lacing is exactly the same as the single stitch, but you go in each hole 2 times. And that's the big difference. I can tell I did not use the fid enough here. So we'll open up our holes a little bit more so that you can see how this stitch is done. So we've gone in this one twice, and you'll remember that you'll be hiding your stitch back here, probably between 2 pieces of leather. If not, you can find a place to thread it through and possibly put a tiny amount of cement or something on it. So we've gone through that hole once. Now we're going to go through it again. And it's still tight. And you'll hold it with your finger to make it spread out and look nice. And we've got 2 stitches in that one, and so we'll go to the next. And if it gets too tight after you've already gone in there, you can always go in with the fid, open it up a little bit, and it'll be much easier to get your needle through. And then you just space it out where you kind of have a little V, and it'll end up just looking what I think is really nice, which is like this kind of lacing job. And this, unlike the single stitch, the edge pretty much covers, but I would still dye that. All the, if the inside of your project was a dark color, I would dye the whole thing dark and try and kind of match. There is another way that you can do this stitch to make it look even more decorative, is you can do the single stitch all the way down, like we did, say here, and then you can come back even with another color, or the same color, but you can come back with a different color to make your crosses in there, and it'll give you a whole different look. You can also try some even thinner lace to give you a completely different look. I've seen some people use some kind of floss or thread, and that looked kind of neat too. Try some sample pieces with all the stitches so that you can see what they look like, and you'll also have a sample card to show your customers. Stay tuned for my edge braiding and applique videos next, where we'll also use the braiding soap made in my first video and the splitting and beveling technique shown in my other videos. I will try to post new videos every Friday. Subjects will also contain lots of other leather techniques and information. If you like this video, please push the thumbs up button and subscribe button so I'll know that these videos are useful to you. Thanks for watching.